Yes. Good evening, people. How we doing? What a night. The weather is foul here in Manchester. It's dark. It is windy and it is raining. My team has just got beat 1-0. Not that that's the most important thing in my life, but I've just been watching the game. Boris is pissing off the whole nation. So the weekend's not been the best one. And I hope yours has gone a lot better than that. I certainly do hope so. How are you doing, everyone? Thank you for jumping on. Red Pill Phil here. Hope you've had a great weekend. I know there's been all types of events going on today, as we know. We had an early commenter. Big love, Red Pill Phil. I'm hoping to catch the live stream. It was wet and windy in Kent. On a mission to a friend's house. Hopefully there will be up for the stream, spreading the love. Yes. Thank you very much. Hi, Phil. Speaker's Corner was peaceful till the end, and then it went wrong, so I have to see the outcome tomorrow. Yeah, I heard of some of the shenanigans. I've not seen a lot of footage because I've been busy doing uploads and preparing for this stream tonight, so I've only seen a little bit. Yes, Panda View, how we doing? Thank you for jumping on. Yes, you made it. You made it. We're in the room. How we doing? Thai Princess, lovely to have you along. Thank you very much to everyone jumping on. And if you're going to be watching this retrospectively, thank you very much for taking the time out. There's a lot of stuff going on, so I'm sure there's a lot of people posting various things in various ways as well, because we're all feeling varying emotions, aren't we, about how to tackle this and what is going on, the interpretation of it. Crazy times, friends. Crazy times. Yes. How you doing, Richard? Hope you're doing all right, mate. Mad Flack. Yes. Thank you and welcome. Be happy. Tommy Robinson has been arrested, so I believe. I haven't seen any of the footage, so I can't make too many comments. It probably, ultimately, I can't say why the police would have done that because I haven't seen any footage. It's a regrettable instance because it sets off that chain of events between the two wings again, doesn't it? And you'll get the other side that will find this very amusing, very funny that this is happening. And in some ways, that's like Arsenal winning against United. You know what I mean? The opposing fans are going to, hey, which is then going to agitate. And really, the world is in a shit place right now. So we don't need people just deciding to create their own little divide. Whether you like Tommy Robinson, whether you don't like him, whether you agree with him, or whether you don't agree with him. I can't honestly speak for this bit of footage. There's various reasons why that man is clamped down. I guess looking at it from all different angles, people might say he creates a load of commotion. The man, from what I see, wears his heart on his sleeve, and it's regrettable that you have got the system that constantly demonizes, even though I do feel his rhetoric is somewhat tapered at this point, and it has been for a while, but yet. So this ain't almost like saying, oh, I support the guy. It's not. It's neither supporting or non-supporting. It's staying in the middle. It's watching what is going on around. And you could argue, should he have gone there? Should he have not? It's not for me to say. I did hear about this event coming on for a good few days now. Other people were talking about it. You've got to admit, Speaker's Corner is an absolute joke. That's what you can ascertain from this. I've been there, I think probably twice. Both occasions I didn't like it. It's militant. There's a lot of adolescent behavior that goes on there. There's a lot of point scoring that goes on there. There's a lot of caliphate rhetoric, and there's a lot of point scoring in order to get that rhetoric abolished as well. It's almost like one big sorry game where Speaker's Corner has just been diminished into what now? So I've no idea. I mean, that's my take on it. Until, like everyone else, I see footage, you hear stories, you get the full, evaluated, balanced story. But it does sound like double standards to a degree. But I can't say, I really can't say. I'd like to think that they're going to clamp down on the shenanigans that is going on within Hyde Park, because whether you agree or like Tommy Robinson or not, the only reason he's going down there is because of the demise and the militancy that is happening within that area. And people have been worried about it for a good while. And there's very good reason when you see the divide, the confrontation, the polarization that happens within what is supposed to be a commons for free speech. It's anything but, particularly as a lady got struck, got assaulted. No matter what a nomination, no matter what color of a skin, a creed, no matter what a politics, no matter what a religion, it shows on the other side how intolerant they are. And irony is, every time I turn on the TV, I'm seeing adverts almost projecting that there has to be a series of adverts reminding people of being tolerant in this country. And I think it's so unfair. The wife and I were talking about it before, but I'm not gonna go there getting on one. Got to be, well, I ain't seen it, so I can't say. And, I can't say. All I can say, this has been one hell of an eventful weekend, doesn't it? Freaking hell. Who needs this on top of everything else? Because no matter what, whether Tommy's innocent or guilty, whether he deserved it, whether he didn't, whether you like him or whether you're not, the fans, which I've got to admit, I have a lot of Tommy Robinson fans that I loved out of the ground, are balanced, well thought, well considered, and composed individuals. Like any other group, you are going to get a minority of people that have they can't behave themselves, and their actions on and offline can sometimes make any person look bad. So there's an element of that within it all. Same here. As much as we want to castigate Tommy Robinson, and this ain't me backing him up, I'm just saying it as I see it. It does look a bit one-sided here. You've got to also castigate what goes on within the Black community, within Speaker's Corner, within the Muslim community, within Speaker's Corner. Now, that doesn't mean that every Black person, that doesn't mean every Muslim, and because Tommy Robinson's now had that done to him, that doesn't mean every white person either. But we've got to get back to this certain balance. You know what I mean? He seems to have almost lost control here, because there will be a chain of events that will be of a consequence to this. The online traffic now is going to go crazy. People are going to be having jabs, people are going to be saying things to hurt people back, and none of it is needed when we have got genuine problems within this country on all different fronts. And let's face it, I started this stream because we've got a problem that no matter what your demographic, no matter what your religion, we're all being locked down again. The finances of this country, the economy of this country is already on its knees, and it's not even got up. Now from Thursday onwards, it's going to take another baseball bat to the kneecaps. You're going to have unemployment that's going to scratch off from that. You're going to have alcoholism, you're going to have depression, you're going to have anxiety, you're going to have violence, both domestic, you're going to have sexual abuse of women, men, and children. All these issues that are going to derive as a consequence from what is COVID-19, or as some people coin the term, particularly with the implementations that are being drawn out, COVID 1984. Because the lifestyle we are now having to lead to curtail something that it looks like herd immunity is actually dealing with. Surreal. He was accused of carrying a knife. Who, Tommy? What if people stand up? Well, I don't know. Was that to me or was that to everyone else? If you're gonna stand up, it's got to be unilaterally. It's got to be done peacefully. It's got to be, in my regard, you might disagree. Everyone's got their own little meter on how they want to deal with this now, and so I don't want people going off me because I choose to do, But this is my opinion, and we all know if you're standing in front of a police officer, if he wants 20 of you to move and 20 of you ain't moving, right? And there's only him, he ain't going to get almighty and powerful. If he then calls 5 other police officers, they ain't going to be that powerful. If you then get another 20 people that stand there and keep increasing the numbers, bearing in mind that we've got more people that are more displeased than they've got people that can actually stop us. Now, that doesn't mean climbing over the fence and ripping out the politicians and try to retake Parliament, because that's probably a ludicrous thought. We haven't got the infrastructure, the brain power, and the logistics to carry that out. And you'd be closed down in 2 minutes and you would give them the police state that they want. But on a conscious level, you have got thousands of people, millions of people. The line in the sand has to be drawn with this. Has to get to the point where the average person is going to come out. The average person is going to civilly be disobedient and fight back against this. Not just a fringe amount of people. That's, I wouldn't say futile. It makes a point which will then red pill and then trigger something for maybe someone in the future to maybe start thinking along different lines. So I think it's all useful in a way, but how you do that has got to be done peacefully, in a sense that you don't want to be demonized in order to castigate you, in order to build your straw man, in order to make the psychological battle even harder for you. And whether that works or not, I don't know. Yes, mate. At least we've got someone in here who says I'm right. Yes, thank you anyway. I'm kind of waffling on here. What are other people saying? I did hear on the stream in the park that there was a threat to life, but they didn't go protect him in the park. They only stopped him leaving. Would that be Tommy? Answer. Oh God. I wonder how long ago they recorded Songbird. This has been planned. Yeah, mate. Well, it's certainly activating the paradigms. And it's probably, I mean, this is going to make more people more right, might even nudge them more far right. It's going to make people more left. And in order to combat what they see is the existential threat, which is Tommy Robinson or whatever else, it might make them more far left. And you think, we're all living next door to each other. We're all under this system that's currently doing us all over. We're all seeing that. We all now, from Thursday, you're going to be monitored on where you can go, what you can do. Let's look at it this way. We're all running around Speaker's Corner. From Thursday, you're not going to be able to congregate with more than one fucking person from outside your house. So do we need to drop this paradigm shit now and start getting real? Because this is why I don't really get involved with a lot of this, because it's, even though I see the valid points, it's not that I disagree with it. I just see that it's a trap. It is a honey trap. It's one you're almost unwittingly, willingly putting yourself in, because as soon as you are, boom, you're done. You know, it's like that sticky paper you put down for mice. They don't fucking know it's there, but unwittingly they stepped on it, and and we're being had. We're being picked off this way. We're being radicalized this way. The amount of people that have been, you could argue, more angry, more frustrated, equals more radicalized, more infringed, more disenfranchised, more disorientated with what is going on, with the way they're being treated, and the way what they feel is a true life point is being regarded. And the fact of the matter is, all this amounts to really is that people don't want to listen. Let's just close him down. And that ain't the smartest way, whether you like Tommy or not like him, whether you like Black Lives Matter or not like them, whether you like people who want to talk about the issues within Islam or you don't. To close them down is the most redundant thing you can do. To castigate them and say, well, anyone who talks about this is now a racist, and then put on a series of adverts trying to make the world look like it's fucking beautiful and multicultural, that is not the way to deal with this. And we know that. That is only making the fringes more fringe. But anyway, go right off topic. There is an element of that. There is an element of that. And you ignite people then to want to come and get him because of that. And I'm not, is that his fault? Is it the lady's fault that she got a dig for doing what she done in? No, I think that everyone's got a right. You should be able to control yourself, compose yourself. You know what I mean? Let's face it, we all know it on this stream now. If we're going to talk about dangerous individuals who are so-called activists, I've got to admit it, and you guys have got to admit it, Tommy Robinson is not the most dangerous activist that is around right now. And we know that. We know that. Does that mean I support him? No. Does that mean I just let him say what he's got to say? Yeah. Does that mean I stifle anything that he tries to do? No. Does that mean I watch and stand back and see what happens every time he pops his head up? Yeah. Does that mean I watch how some fans react when he does that? Yeah. So there's a multitude of things that go on around. But then I watch individuals that over the past year or so that have gone to darker doors, that want ultimately what the left will prescribe Tommy Robinson wants. And we know that isn't the case. We know that isn't the case. We know that there's darker entities that don't seem to get the bad press. Darker entities that don't seem to get called out on a regular basis and don't seem to be the household name, but ultimately their rhetoric is far darker, far darker. Well, like I say, mate, I'm not saying he did. I don't know, I'm not saying he did. There's a battle. There's a battle going on now. Not only is there a light and dark, which that explains the earlier post today with the Archbishop. There's a light and dark battle going on. But that light and dark battle also is contained within the paradigmal fight. You've got light within the right. You've got dark within the right. You've got dark, probably, I would say, within what is regarded as far right. You've got light within what is known as liberalism and left, but yet you've got dark. What am I saying? I guess there's good and bad in us all. So as much as you want to polarize one individual here and make him out to be the bad guy, and this is why fucking all the shit's going on, we've got dark in each and every one of us. It's up to you how you want to let that manifest. Now, ultimately, when it comes to actions, I'm seeing more dark actions that are manifested against that man rather than what that man is guilty of. And we've got to own that. Whether you like what he represents, whether you like what he attracts, that is a totally different issue. And in some ways, I will accept your point. But he's not Adolf Hitler. And we know that. And I don't have to be a supporter. So just fucking be in the middle on this and say, you know what? Personally, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the right. I'm sick of the left. I'm sick of the fucking pair of yous. And I'm being honest. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the bullshit that is always caused between them two camps. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll lose support for saying that, but I'm only saying what I feel. It's a fucking game, and I want to make moves. There's people dying. There's people suffering. And I'm sick of this paradigmal shit. Started this stream supposedly talking about what Boris Johnson is instilling on the whole population. The double standards of it, the manipulation of it, the exploitation of it, watching people suffer because of it. So I'm not going to go there with a paradigm shit. It's almost redundant as to what is actually going on above that. I really do believe that. Hey, up, where was that? Ooh. I don't only support you if I agree with you. Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's like going out the 3 years. Imagine one's left, one's right, one's centre. The centre one goes home all the time, right? No trouble, and try to keep the left and the right out of trouble. That's all the centre does all the time, and it seemed like that. So the centre's now got to think, do I just go out with my centre mates where I know I ain't going to get this shit? Now, the funny thing is, by saying that, it doesn't mean I've left the issue of grooming behind. It doesn't mean I've left the issue of abuse, sexual abuse, whether it be to men, women, boys, or girls. It doesn't mean I've left any of that. They're all very much primary thoughts because there's nothing worse than creating a survivor. We're all survivors now of this shock treatment we're going through. But I'm not going to go through the mechanisms and the little stupid games in order to talk about that. I'm done. I'm done with what it attracts when you do. I'm done with me saying, well, I support him and I don't mind taking what. No. There's got to be another way. This has been 4 years of fucking about, going backwards and forwards. And where's it getting everyone? Nowhere. Fucking nowhere. And you talk about unifying. How is this going to improve the likelihood of unification when it's a game like this? But that's my opinion. This is why I sit in my ass and I do most of my time editing, because running about now seems like you're just playing your part in one stupid game that kind of is going nowhere. And I've spent the best part of 2 years running up and down the country, literally London, Scotland, all over the place, following march after march, interviewing person after person. And I wouldn't say it's been a waste of time. It's been fucking great in many ways. But I've watched fight after fight. I've watched infighting after infighting. I've watched castigation after castigation, headline after headline. I've watched subbers turn from decent people to now literally wearing fucking Nazi memorabilia. memorabilia. So I'm done. I've seen it all. So it's a question of, at that point, do you stick in there knowing that this is the hotbed that it creates, and then you're just going to play your little role within all that? Or do you go, listen, sorry, if that's the way you want to play it, you play it like that. I'm going to sit over here. And it almost seems that is the best thing for me to do right now. Not to get involved with any of that. I'm seeing the same names that are doing the same streams and they're all slagging each other off. And it's all this, it's all a light and dark, right, left. And it's like, none of you want to give up any ground. I'm hearing the most abhorrent language being passed from one another. I speak my French, but I will never do it to an individual. But yeah, I'm watching streams where I'm seeing people cutting people up verbally. So I'm having nothing to do with it. I'm interviewing people and I'm getting told, listen, be careful. These people are doing this. These people are doing that. And you know what all that makes me want to do? It makes me want to go, just edit your videos, Phil. Stop with this stream and inviting people that you can no longer trust because you don't know how they're battling their fight within their own mind and on their own various platforms. And that is building your straw man. I don't go out and start acting like some kind of arsewipe, offering people out, going on streams, saying all kinds of things, and then go on someone else's stream, la-di-da, just chatting all nice, because I know my actions of that last stream is going to bring that other person's stream into disrepute. And I can't sanction that behavior. And when I see it from other people, it makes me feel the same thing. The one thing that this whole platform, this whole YouTube has done to me, two, hardened me and give me severe trust issues on the individuals within this community. That's all it's done. It's not changed me as an individual, it's enlightened me. But this is a game. It's a game, guys. We're not getting nothing done. Not getting nothing done. It's going to be a week now of what? Fucking headlines everywhere. People getting castigated. People getting pissed off. People buzzing. Really? Come Thursday, you're not going to be able to get essential items from the shops. I've heard of people getting arrested because they're trying to buy tampons in Wales because they're not regarded as fucking essential items. I've got a story here of welders in the Isle of Man because of the severe curtailments. They've been arrested. I'm now seeing a story. It's not just 5 welders. It's up to 16 people so far in the Isle of Man that's been arrested. So when I see some people going on and acting like kids in Hyde Park, and I'm not talking about the people who went down. I'm on about the reason why Hyde Park has become the place it has. I think, man, you don't even know what's going on. You can't even see what's going on. You can't even see how the populations are getting affected by this. I'm walking around and I'm seeing people looking numb. Looking numb. Now, I can't articulate that any more than saying that. I don't even know what that means. If you can understand what I mean. Looking numb. They've been shut out. That ain't paradigmal. That's hit them to their core and everyone else. The level of uncertainty on this globe now is off the chart. And it's permeated down to a personal thing. This ain't, oh, well, I'm left, so it doesn't bother me because that's the right. Oh, well, I'm right. Well, I'm United, so, I'm a, City got beat. So no, this bothers everyone. So what are we doing? What are we doing? Ella, you are so right. And I'm sorry for that tangent. I'm sorry because I've started and I knew what had happened. And I'm not trying to get on people at all. If you went down to Hyde Park today, fair play to you. If you went down to try and fight what is going on down there in a civil, composed manner, fair play to you. It's a shame that you've got to do it. It's a shame that you've got to take yourself out of your life to do that shit. Because we should be living now. This is the opposite of being prosperous. The way we're being treated, the way you're left to feel. And I'm actually sweet. But at the same time, the passion that's coming out of me now, I'm thinking of the people that are frustrated, the people that can't handle this, the people that it's now manifesting within their actions. So I totally get you, Ella. People are lost, frustrated, and pissed off. Does that really articulate the numb feeling that I'm seeing when I'm walking around? People barely even looking up because they're looking down. It is horrible, the wave. And I don't want to throw a negative vibe. I'm just getting, let's get back to reality, guys. Let's not get all paradigmal over this. There's a bigger battle between light and dark. What you've just witnessed there is one multifaceted part of it. We have to analyze that along with all the other facets. So the one thing we've got to do is not overreact on one facet. You've got to keep yourself in check. This is like all different facets, and there might be horrible things are happening. You've got to keep your check. We've got to enlighten ourselves. We've got to raise our consciousness. It's the only way I feel we can fight this. Not by pitchforks, not by mob-handed, not by screaming and shouting in the streets. We're beyond that. We're beyond that. We've got to transcend the emotion that is in the redress. We've got to. Yeah, won't surprise me. They all are. Try to rewrite the Great Reset, you could argue, but that, and it is one-sided. Rise above. We've got to, dudes. We've got to. What's wrong with bangers and mash? Where's Carl? Come on, Carl. There you go, sir. It is. It's a sophisticated, well-oiled, well-drilled machine that is rolling out. And I'll watch videos like the World Economic Forum. And that's one facet. It's overt, but it's one facet. That trickles down then into multitude of facets because of the financial aspect. It's the multitude of facets that really have a deeper impact on our lives. So as well as me saying, okay, I'm going to upload this video of the World Economic Forum, to solely get freaked out over that is probably not the wisest move. You've got to recoil back and then ultimately try to empower people on how this system, and I mean people that don't even know, that are probably walking around with masks on now. Try and empower them on how that upload is affecting their life. Me just screaming about it is not, me wanting to go to Downing Street because of that upload is not going to do nothing. We've all got to empower ourselves a little bit. But I guess the composure is needed as we're doing it. And maybe I'm just talking doo-doo here. Do you know, last time I spoke to her, who's that who asked? Tony, she was fine. She was fine. She actually asked to come on here. And there's many people that what, but I've not had time. I've not had time. I've been working, been doing family bits, and ultimately doing massive uploading as well. Oh, bless you. We're all teaching each other, Ellie. You know, we're all learning. We're all learning. I can't say I'm sat here and go, yes, Red Pill Phil knows it all. No, I'm watching. I'm watching. And by watching, it informs me. By informing me, it gives me better information as to what I can do with my next move. Instead of just rushing out, no, think, then react. And it's a slower way. When you're frustrated, it's not as much fun. Like when someone's calling you a name, do you call them back with the same vigor, or do you just walk away and smile and go, right, okay, higher conscious being? Sometimes fighting fire with fire in that way is not the best way about it, because me doing that to that individual, that ain't teaching them nothing. If I walk away, they might think, shizzle, I've just gone all out on him. But you know what? He didn't say nothing. So in a way, I must have pretty angry issues or something, because he composed himself in that tense situation. He was able to handle himself. So what is it about me that makes me lose myself? And that, boom, without me even saying anything, made him re-question his own shit. Pardon my French. Maybe it done. Thanks for the Sunday school. Who's put that? Come on, Barry. I know, mate. I'm sorry. I don't want to get all preachy, because I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. But at the same time, I'm seeing a lot of discombobulation as well, mate. Yes, Ella. Yes. Right. So let's get back to it anyway. Let's get back to this. What we're here for. Yeah. What to talk about and critique that scraggy-headed muppet that's behind that door at 10 Downing Street, yeah? Look what he's doing. And even if he thinks he's doing the right things, mate, I ain't feeling great. And I think the average individual ain't feeling great about it now. But we've got to deal with it, haven't we? It's a Red Pill Phil on YouTube. Hey, tell you. Here we go. Boris, Barbag. Oh, there's so many comments. I'm going to have to leave them in a sec. This is the last one, and then I'm going to go to a little bit of footage, and then I'll come back to the comments, guys. I will get into it. If black and white unite, it would take days for the elites to run, and the left can stay home crying. I tell you, that's the final puzzle when we work out how to circumnavigate all the animosity that has been built up, all the polarization between all the races. Fuck it off. You know what I mean? It's like me having a bad argument and then just running out charged up on this argument every day for the next week. What's the point of that? I know ultimately I need to calm myself down and then go back out, and I know my life's better, and I know my engagement with people are better, and they'll engage with me better. I'm not blaming any of you for that. I'm just saying the world's going crazy. Who is Boris doing the right thing for, though? Well, that's the point, isn't it, mate? And I did say one more comment. Right, here we go. Let's get back to it. So we know why we're here. The scraggy-headed frigging globalist appeaser is doing this.
We must act now to contain this autumn surge. We're not going back to the full-scale lockdown of March and April. The measures that I've outlined are less prohibitive and less restrictive, but I'm afraid from Thursday, the basic message is the same. Stay at home, protect the NHS, and save lives.
Protect the NHS. Protect the NHS. I had a look before, and currently there's 10,000 beds that's being taken up nationally through COVID. I think there's less than 700 people on a ventilator. We're currently at just over 46,000 deaths, which, if you have one, is horrible. So I'm not trying to downplay that. Oh, just over. Okay, 46,555 deaths. We initially was told by the likes of epidemiologist Neil Ferguson that off the strength of what he forecast, which was 500, that's it, 500,000 deaths, we should initiate the lockdown, which then commenced in March. Then that man got COVID. Then that man was having dirty shenanigan affairs with other people whilst he had COVID, whilst he was telling. So there was double standards, there was hypocrisy, and there was implementations that fucked up the economy big time, pardon my French, with very little justification, okay? So 500,000 deaths was the justification on the first lockdown. We've not even reached a tenth of that in terms of deaths, not cases, bleeding deaths. Now we're initiating what he wants to call lockdown 2 light. Lockdown 2 light is like lockdown 2 double heavy, because on a psychological level, people haven't yet been able to remove themselves from the mental scars of the first fucking lockdown. So for him to come out flippantly like, oh, I'm afraid, well, you know, no, mate, no. We sit back and we're all quite happily, yeah, we'll all quite happily sit back and give Donald Trump slaps because he doesn't come across well. He says this, he says that. And in many ways, yeah, he's not the most smooth talker. But this dickhead isn't either, right? And let me tell you why. Even though the guy is highly educated, even though the guy's got a lovely accent, even though the guy can formulate words and go round in circles and go all over the place, you know the one thing that guy hasn't got? His fucking heart. He hasn't got a soul and he hasn't got a heart.
We must act now to contain this autumn surge. We're not going back to the full-scale lockdown of March and April. The measures that I've outlined are less prohibitive and less restrictive, but I'm afraid from Thursday, the basic message is the same.
Yeah, the basic message is the same. We're going to fuck you up the arse. That's what the basic message is. Where was the heart there? Where was the consideration for the lowest nomination of individuals that are suffering through this now? That are now being told that the likelihood of going out back, seeing the family, if you have any bereavements, where that's going to lead you back again. Any jobs, where that's going to lead you. Independent businesses. Christmas. And then
we must act now to contain this autumn surge. We're not going back to the full-scale lockdown of March and April. The measures that I've outlined are less prohibitive and less restrictive, but I'm afraid from Thursday.
But I'm afraid I'm going to fuck your life up. But, sorry, got to do it. Yeah? Imagine if I delivered something like that to you that was dramatically going to affect and impact all of your life. Sorry, guys, but got to do it. You know, fuck it. You what? What? Now, we're going to slag off Donald Trump. Why don't you slag him off? That man's got no heart for not only doing what he's doing, but delivering it like he couldn't give a flying fuck. And I'm sorry, you might disagree with me, but that's the way I got it. Well, this is it, mate. And this is where it makes me think that guy is just a globalist appeaser. A globalist appeaser. That's all he's doing. He's fulfilling the will of people above him. He's not fulfilling the will of the people. You Yeah? Is he tapping on the desk to the elites when he's sat in these fucking meetings? No, he isn't. He's getting bumfucked by them and he's beating. Sorry, let me calm down. Let me calm down. He is going in their meetings and he is taking it. He is taking it large, yeah? They're slipping their glove right up there, yeah? You know, one of them cattle gloves? Right up there. And then he's doing it exactly to us. He does read the script, and quite rightly so. You can still read a script and deliver it like you actually care. When you're actually talking and delivering a message that's going to permeate to all 60 plus million people in this country, should you actually sound like you're caring about the worst person on this land that it's going to affect? A woman with anxiety that is now even more scared and wondering where this is going to get her. Someone who is now literally destitute because of this. Is that sufficient emotion for them? Don't get it. Yeah, sorry, Steve. I know. Well, someone's taking the cash, mate. And it makes you think, you know, makes you think. Remember when the Prime Minister or the President of Belarus come out, said the IMF have tried to pay me off. They're trying to get me to get my public to go back into lockdown. And if I do it, they will pay me. They've got a debt fund set aside to start paying off countries. Now, the question's got to be asked here. Is this scraggy-headed muppet, is he getting paid off to keep us in lockdown for something that's not justifiable? For a death rate that's, what? Are you joking? Boris didn't see this coming. No, I get it. I get it. But explain that to the lowest nomination. I don't see it. I'm afraid, guys. I'm afraid. Yeah. Well, you go back to your rich lifestyle. How's that affecting someone on a council estate? How's that affecting the job market now? How's that affecting industry now? Hundreds of thousands, millions of people are being affected. The suicide rate, the anxiety, the depression, the alcoholism, the violence, the frustration is all part and parcel when you've got your leader that will come out and go, sorry guys, got to foot your life up. You know how it goes. Sorry. With not one bit of feeling, not one bit of emotion. Yeah, the one glimmer of hope is that he's paying some people. The one glimmer. But that ain't helping. That ain't helping the lowest nomination. That ain't helping your super independent business that only employ 2-3 people. They're never going to open again. Ingenuity is going to be hit. Monopolies are going to form, and all you're going to create is more fucking oligarchs with this. And that's what I think. Well, he's not acting like a leader. I'll tell you now. And I'm not conservative Tory bashing. I'm not Labour bashing. I'm not whoever Lib Dem. They're all a bunch of wankers. I've got to say it. They don't do the right thing by the people. You will get elements within them that will try. But you can see how corrupt, how dirty that whole system is. You can see the likelihood of anything good coming out of it. When you start at the bottom level, you aspire to be at number 10. Yeah, number 10 means that you're just going to get that glove rammed up, yeah, And the will of the people comes second. The will of the elites is paramount. And that we can all see. We blamed Theresa May, Theresa the appeaser. We blame pretty much everyone else. I don't do politics, so I can't really go too in depth on the things and the policies that they've all brought in over the years, but it's all left us to this point. And yet, because he's a Tory, same again, right, left. Is it? Is this a right-left battle? Or is just some scraggy-headed muppet that just doesn't know what he's doing, that's fucking it up for the smaller population of this country? Is it as simple as that? Or should we get in this little paradigm online battle? I take it the people will not do a thing. What's going to be the line in the sand? What's going to be it? And we're not talking about just go. I'm on about literally everyone. How much do you get affected by it before you go now? We do know that the level of fear that has to be projected on this will justify the vaccination, will justify the reset. So that's why we're going through this. That's why this lockdown's happening. Is it not? He can't unlock down if the Great Reset's been planned. How can he do that? He's got to lock it down. He's got to perpetuate the fear, the cases, even though there are no deaths. They can't come out and say deaths anymore because they've already been had yoke on the face. Because they initially said 500,000 deaths. And we're coming close to what, 8 months? And it's not even a tenth of that. So they've had to drop that narrative. So how stupid are people going to think, well, no, it's still dangerous, even though it's not the deaths, it's the cases? When are they going to talk about recovery rate? When are they going to do that, guys? Because when I was watching that debacle with the three fucking stooges on telly last night, yeah, with the centre stooge being the ragged-headed muppet, and I'm sorry, when he's putting the whole country in lockdown, don't expect me to praise him right now. Do not expect that. You're lucky I'm being very gentle with him. The first 10 minutes was nothing but a fear campaign. Fear. Even one of me wife's friends, they both work in office. They both do PowerPoints, presentations, day in, day out. You know what her friend said to my wife? Death by PowerPoint. And it was. All they were doing was utilising them PowerPoints to drum it into you that we're having this lockdown. Because look, cases are going up. Never mind the likelihood that that case can transpire to being hospitalised and then, even worse, being dead. Never mind that. The one thing they didn't do, out of all the slides that were showing this convenient fucking rise of cases, because of course there's going to be more cases. You're going to fucking test more. And what is COVID? What part of COVID? And how assured are you on the testing? So there's going to be more tests. The bottom line is, did they show any PowerPoints displaying the rate of recovery as opposed to cases? The hospitalizations, how many of them recover? Because all you're doing is telling how many fucking died. How many recovered that went in hospital? How many recovered who has got COVID positive? I was off for 2 days last week because my site manager tested positive. The whole fucking world shut down, didn't it? Yeah? No, 3 days. I had the Thursday and the Friday, the weekend, and then the Monday off. So I'm thinking, right, let me see this now. Just watch. The best thing to do to see if your narrative's in check, to see if you've got balance, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens to your site manager. Not to say I want anything bad to happen to him. You know what happened? Naffle. He got a whole heap of shit off track and trace. That's the one thing that happened. But in terms of him combating the COVID, he said he had a cough. A cough. He couldn't taste his food because he's got relatives that were older. He didn't want to take any chances. So he went and got tested, come back positive. The whole site went into a connection fit. He stayed away. And he said he was fine, apart from having a bit of an achy back and a cough. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen with every case, because that's not. But that will be happening to the majority of people that will be getting it. So then you've got to think to yourself, if that is going to be happening to the majority of people and they're not putting PowerPoints out saying the majority of people are fucking recovering from this rather than dying, why are you going on a second lockdown? Why are you waiting ultimately for a vaccine when we don't need the vaccine? And why are you now talking about the Great Reset? Because the financial institutions that are currently in place at this moment in time are no longer valid under the COVID system, when it is. Because everything from the dot is a black. So the Great Reset is the agenda. The fear and everything else is part of the tools they're going to use in order to make everything happen. So the Great Reset will happen, surely. Anyway, enough of the ranting. Getting done over. We are. Hey, right. So I was talking about Isle of Man, right? Isle of Man, yeah. Jailed for breaking COVID. 16 people, yeah. It's that this um is covering it, I'm sorry. There's 16 people. Total of 16 people have now been jailed by Manx courts for breaking COVID isolation laws. Now, laws are laws, yeah. No one wants to break the law willingly, but when you know everything is a black, and look, this is the most stringent that I've ever heard for such a small place, yeah. But it's a financial institution, isn't it, for such a small place, so maybe that's why. But anyway, 2 more were put behind bars this week. A woman who left her home to go to shelter after a late night row with a partner was sentenced to 4 fucking weeks. And a man who met his friends at a football club has also been jailed for 4 weeks. I mean, does that really? Really? Stacey Townsend, age 42, of Hazel Close and Douglas, pleaded guilty to failing to self-isolate on Saturday, October the 24th, by travelling to the homeless shelter. If she'd had a row, see, this is what I mean. There's no mitigation now, is there? So you've got to stay there. Say that row escalated and they're getting beat up. Say that row escalating and they're getting literally physically harmed with an implementation. I'll say, out of sheer exacerbation, say that it resulted in her doing something that she would later regret. Would that be better? There's no common sense applied here. No common sense. Oh, right. Well, basically, that's it. 16 people. And, the worst thing is, the Isle of Man. Has anyone got any ideas of how many people have died of COVID in the Isle of Man? Yeah, when you think of how severe, how draconian they're being in the island, how much fear they must be putting their residents of that beautiful Manx island, eh? Do you know how many deaths? Let me show you guys. Yeah? How do you like them apples? How do you like that? So for 24 deaths, they're going to do that. Now, is that justifiable? One death is terrible of anything. But is that justifiable to now bring in a police state? I did, mate. I did. I did. I actually spoke about it at the beginning of the stream, mate. So it's not making too much sense here to the individual that can freely think and is not being curtailed with their individual thought on the matter. Well, this should happen. Boris Johnson and Matt Hancock could face court over test and trace shambles. The PM faces questions over making Tory peer Dido Harding, who is head of the programme, boss of the new National Institute of Health Protection. Boris Johnson and Matt Hancock could be taken to court over issues linked to the test and trace scheme. The PM faces questions over appointing Tory peer. It shouldn't be just over appointing that. It should be because of the way he's handling this. It should be. And if there's any stories, well, if the stories are true, that apparently some subpoenas, in a sense, are being dished out to MPs over the validity of the policies because of their lack of evidence, you could say. It's all developing. Health and Secretary Mr. Hancock is facing action after scammers accessed details of pub and restaurant customers using track and trace. The actions have been taken by campaign groups, the Runnymede Trust and the Good Law Project. They claim breach of equality laws because the NIHP post and another key role were not advertised. Barrister John Joylin, director of Good Law, said, appointments seem to be about who you know rather than what you know. So whether anything, is it frivolous? Yeah, tell me about it, mate. Now, people talked about, I said in a flipping comment, Spectre, Serco is the hydrant, is one of the biggest facets of this spectre, this hydrant that we've got currently. You could argue for their sheer reach and dominance on the key roles. There's like 5 key departments that they are predominant in, and each one of them governs all our lives in any way, from using your car to going to prison to go to school to fucking everything. So they're a key infrastructure for the globalists. Certainly are. There's more and more people coming out and saying it. I know the mainstream media don't want you to talk about it, and they'll do the best not to show it. But with that will have a knock-on effect. And there was a comment that I kept seeing yesterday when I was doing a bit of research for today. The Great Awakening, I mean, that is happening. Even though it doesn't feel like it. The raggy-headed leader that we've got at this moment, he's creating more to help people on this Great Awakening journey. He's helping people to probably go off politics more, maybe as well to go on to politics to try and change this. So his actions alone are doing so much in so many different facets. Yes, Stu. Oh, no. Oh, no. So you get to that point, you can't trust anything now, can you? Leave your phone at home, that's where it's going. But I guess you can't, because you need track and trace, even if you want to sit and have a bleeding orange juice in a pub. It's like life, as people got on to what life is actually like now, if they actually sat and thought about it, because it's almost like people are going, well, no, they're going to curtail me here, I'll just crack on, and then boom, the gate shuts. Oh, no, I'll just turn over here and I'll Boom, the gate shuts there. Oh no, well, it's like, for fuck's sake. Look at your life. Look at your life. Where's your fight? Where's your conscious battle here? And this ain't screaming, climbing, and doing violence and getting the police and having this war. But no. Where's your conscious battle? Where's your core scruples, your core integrity that tells you that this is fucked. And even if you're an adult of a certain age, your kids are being conditioned into this being the new norm. Where's your fight? You know what, Anta? You've reminded me of a song. I left my phone in El Segundo. I left my phone in El Segundo. Yes. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks for the support as ever. Thank you to everyone. I'm only doing one small bit, and I don't feel I'm doing anything. There's many people doing many different things, and support them all. If they're positive and they've got the right ideals and the right ethos behind them, follow them, sub to them, do what you can. Try and collaborate us all somehow. You know what I mean? On a slightly separate note, fingers crossed, I should hopefully be speaking to Double LMC on Wednesday. So that should be something good. Now, we were talking about Serco. That man has broke it down on Serco. That man has done some diligent work on Serco. So I want to pick his brains on that. I seriously do. We ain't getting the old norm back ever. So this is what I'm saying. So where's the line in the sand? Because if people are deluded thinking that, oh, well, a year's time we're going to do, they can't. They've already made their mind up that they don't want to go back. So you thinking that you're going back, you're deluding yourself. All you're doing is tiptoeing into a scenario that you're going to get there and you're going to think, shit, this don't look like what I was promised. And you know that. They're not giving you any indication that everything's going to be sweet and nut. They're giving you every indication that things have got to change. Do you want them changes? Was you expecting them changes? Do you feel we need them changes? Yes, V. Yes. That's a more logical initiative, isn't it? I mean, let's face it, if they would have done that and utilised these 90 Gale hospitals to the fullest capacity, that would have put less burden on the NHS. It doesn't seem to be, does it? It seems to be that they're spending loads of money setting these things up and just, what are they doing with them? I'm hearing reports on test centres that are virtually empty. I can't verify that because I would have to be there 24 hours a day in order to verify that. So I'm not going to come out here, start being conspiratorial and saying that. But this is what a lot of people are saying. This is as well as the tests. They're doing tests on bleeding water bottles and fucking cats and dogs, and it's coming back positive. So there's many reasons why this is all a load of BS. Well, yeah, and V and I, Yvonne and I was talking about the rollout of COVID-21, the supposed mutation that's now going to mutate into 21. You know, so just keep the fear there. This ain't going away, guys. Look, now it's mutated again. When in reality, if it has mutated, then you would see it. You would see it. You would see it, surely. When you've got a recovery rate that seems to be outweighing the deaths, is the mutation going to be generated? Who knows? We've just got to kind of stand back and watch the show, haven't we? The new norm will be 8 trillion less people, maybe. Well, globally, mate, globally, look at it. And even when, I mean, before 9/11, remember there was 3 trillion that they couldn't account for? Yeah. You know that it's corrupt as anything in these financial institutions. You know that London City, the city of London, not London itself, but the city of London is regarded as the money laundering capital of the world. These guys love to spend other people's money. There is a siphoning, extracting wealth from the people. Look at that. If you got a figure like that, for what? And what have we got to show for it? A worse life, a worse prosperous life moving forward. Well, mate, I'm hoping it don't go there, but there's everything I'm seeing, without being sounding too paranoid, to think that they will have a 2-tier life system. If they really run through this digital passport like they want, you've only got to think of what that digital passport entails. Fucking hell. Your life is going to be governed. If you're not regularly tested, if you're not having this vaccination, you can't do this. You can't do A, B, and C. So you're going to live there and they're going to live there. Now, it's going to be like the beautiful people, the unbeautiful people, you know? And there's going to be people that will willingly do it because they want to be part of the crowd. There's going to be people that willingly want to live in the group like, well, I'm not fucking having it. And the way I feel, I'm not having any vax. None of my family are having any of it. So that'll penalise me and my family, no doubt. Yeah. Just like you can't stop the flu, you can't eradicate it. It hits people year in, year out. And the way they're treating this COVID, it's almost like we can eradicate it from the planet. You can't, for fuck's sake. It's going to come round every year. Exactly. Breeze marker. So holidays, working abroad, go to see family. Internal flights. Done. Unless you succumb. And when you think that that's been done through the premise of unjustification, because they've got to prove to the world that this great reset needs to happen. Done. Done. It's like me convincing you need a new car when there's fuck all wrong with your car. And you're kind of thinking, man, this car actually feels all right. And I'm sat in there and go, mate, no, the gear, listen to that, the gearbox is done. So all I want to do is get another $8,000 out of you to get a new car. That is the great reset, isn't it? They're convincing you something's totally flawed and wrong in order to change it and get a new system, when in fact there's fuck all wrong with it. It has its weaknesses. Capitalism does. Socialism does. A bit of the both might be great from a centralist point of view. But you need capitalism, you need the ingenuity, but you don't need the corruption. You don't need the oligarchical system that comes from it. You don't need the monopoly. You don't need the bad element of the 1% that can be breeded from it. Don't fucking need any of that. Drip down. That's how it feels, sir. That's how it feels, doesn't it? Slowly but surely. Because you don't see them criticising China too much, do they? Because they recognise China's like the it's like the world is becoming the bitch of China in a sense, with their prominence in minerals, with their prominence technologically and population-wise. They're actually in a smart position now because Gerald Salente was saying financially they're using their head. They're pulling back from the world economy now. They're internalizing their economy because they've got over 1 billion people in the population. So they can keep their economy fucking all right with that amount of people. And they can come out 6 months from now with a decent economy. Ours can't because it's all being ripped to shreds. We can't internalize ours because we need outside forces. But yet These guys are breaking the system, so we can't have them outside forces. Willfully throwing a spanner in the works. Do you rebel against wearing masks? I don't wear masks. I have worn masks when I'll go in a supermarket. And then when I get in a mask, I'll put it down there. And that is it. And if anyone wants to remonstrate with me once that has happened, I'll gladly do it. I'm not going to walk in with no mask on. I'm not going to go, well, I'm medically exempt, because I'm not. I'm not going to blag in just to wear it. I'll put it down. I do have a shop that are not bothered, so I tend to do most of my shopping in there. I probably shouldn't say that. I'm not going to identify the shop. I don't get on buses, so I don't have to worry about that because I've got my bike. I don't get on trains, so I don't have to worry about that. So my life is really being tailored to not wearing the mask anyway, Charlie. And that's the way I'm going to keep it. So if anything, I'll recoil from life. So I won't need a fucking digital passport, because if it means I've got to do A, B, and C, then mate, I'm staying at home anyway. Get me decks out, have a party. You know what I mean? Do, 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 do. Not having any of that. Yeah, Dave, you got a point. Been sold out. Been sold out. We've got no industry that's meaningful, whether it be cars, production of cars, whether it be steel. Remember, where I used to live, British Steel, man, that was a massive plant. Fucking hell, that's a dream now. Yeah, boy. Do, 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 do. Bollocks. Can you play me some trance on your decks, mate? I haven't got my decks at hand here, to be honest with you. My decks are in the other room, but I will put my decks on a stream very soon. And if I can bear it, I'll try and make trance the vocal tune. But mate, that stuff, fucking hell, don't know how to twist me melons. Like, like Clockwork Orange. It's like, you will submit. I'm submitting. I'm dancing at the same time. Oh, but that's my opinion. Are we talking about the elites? Well, when it comes, mate. When it comes, confidence has gone with them, winning them. They're trying to keep all the negative aspects of what the elites get up to, whether it be trafficking, abuse, and all the other stuff that go on. But ultimately, it's out of the bag now, isn't it? More and more stars are getting caught for doing this, doing that, and they're in positions of authority and power and immense wealth. These are the same people that will literally grandstand how you should live your life, but look at them with their hypocritical asses. So yeah, I think it's coming. Here we go. Bit of D&B. Yes. Where's the D&B? Bit of D&B. Let's get it on. These comments are moving up. Phil, are you going to be okay over the next month? Dude, observe it, dude. I'm going to be sweet. I'm going to make some more music. In fact, my work has not been affected. Thanks. You know what I mean? I wanted to earn money, but I did want a bit of time off as well. No, but the construction industry is still open. So as far as my site, where I'm working currently, no change. I'll be on my bike in the morning, cracking on. Friday morning, I'll be back at work again, and I'll probably see the quietness. That's going to be weird. Friday morning, riding at work, watching the effects on the street, because it's going to be quieter. Going to seem a bit more solemn. Who goes up there? The daughter just rolled in. They must know I'm lying, so they're not wanting to say anything. Because I'll out them. Well, they can do that. It's whether people are going to comply. It's ultimately, have you got the power? Have you haven't? I mean, it's going to be that time, isn't it? That time. And they're going to have to arrest a lot of people. They're going to have to isolate a lot of people. And if enough people isolate themselves, then it makes it all nil and void, doesn't it? Enough people isolate them from it, it creates a problem. They can only make this easy if more people comply. The more people that don't comply, that will create. So let me see. Oh, I just missed some of your comments there, Steve. Okay. You just say there, mate. Skilled labourer out of graft. Is that you, Steve? Sorry to hear that, mate. Sorry to hear that. If I hear of anything coming up on our site in terms of labour, if you've got your cards, mate, I'll certainly give you the nod on that. Yeah, well, it is now. And I'm not doing it to be a criminal because I'm not. I love people. I'm law abiding. I like to just go along to get along. Don't like to do anything that's going to impact anyone. I don't want to have anyone that's going to do anything that's going to impact me. Fucking libertarian. But seriously, don't try and ram raid something that I'm not happy with on there, as I will get what is known as now intellectual militant. Intellectual militancy is what is happening to me now. I'm intellectually going, no. And I can explain why I'm not going to do it, and you're not going to make me do it. And I don't really want to start then promoting to people not to do this, not to do that. You are your own individual, so I don't want people to then go off and go, oh, well, Phil's telling the world not to get. No, you do what you feel you've got to do for you and your family. But I've got a right to my opinion, and I ain't having nothing to do with it. Red Pill Phil, I've got many friends and family who don't talk to me anymore and call me crazy. They don't have their eyes open to what's really going on. Well, it's a shame, Charlie, innit? And I think they will ultimately see it. Probably they're trying to be in the good camp, aren't they? They'll see exactly what's going on, but they'll try and make you look fringe because you're the one that's fighting against it. Now, let me explain what I mean here. My wife does it all the time. We'll be in a restaurant, takeaway, service is shite, proper shite, not happy, right? The wife being the wife just wants to pay the bill, get out of there. I'm like, I ain't having that. I want a manager. Whilst all this is happening, the wife's sinking under the table. She knows the reason why I'm doing it, and she can totally agree with why I'm doing it, but she hasn't got the balls to stand there and go, this is wrong, what are you going to do about it? Now, that doesn't make me wrong for saying anything. Doesn't make my wife knows that all we're talking about here is having the strength and the will to stand up and say, this is wrong. So I wouldn't take that necessarily as a criticism. In a sense, that's probably could be construed as an element of some form of weakness there. That if they're being bumfucked to this extent and they still haven't got the strength to go, this is wrong, then there's not a lot I can say. Bless you, Tinkerbell. Bless you. Yeah, mate. You know how it is. You know how it is. I think intellectual militancy will be the new black. And it's unfortunate that that's the way it has to be. That we were not put on this planet, on this plane, on this dimension to then have to go through a conscious light and dark battle. Who the fuck? You know what I mean? It's like someone said, right, we're going to throw you out of this plane, right? And instead of being in the Second World War and you're dropping in enemy lines, you're a baby that's now being seeded into this world, and ultimately you've got to become a fight this light and dark battle. So get on it, get the fuck out the plane. It's like, what? Crazy. We all just want to live our life, but now this is our reality. You've always got friends here, Charlie. That's the one thing I can say about my subbers. I mean, I'll be honest with you now. I don't have. I've got a mod. He's not been on for a while. I don't have a mod. But to be honest with you, I don't need it because for some reason, I attract decent people. Don't know why. You know what I mean? But that's the way it is. It's great. And let me tell you something. You've all probably would have seen the element of me that doesn't like any shenanigans in the comment section. So you know I'll jump down anyone's throat who's come on here to start fucking with my subbers. I'll do that all day long. I hate it when I come on here talking about a key subject and someone comes in with the sole purpose of just throwing a spike in. You know what I mean? Just getting everyone. Yes, I will, Yvonne. All right, you have a great night and stay safe and give my love to all your family as well. I'll give you the call tomorrow. Take care. So I'm going to get going anyway. Oh, Jesus, an hour and a half. Let me just run through just to make sure. Is there anything left? One thing I will leave you with, okay, is this. This has come, I've got this. Did I get it sent? I might have found it myself, but it's from Canada, a YouTuber in Canada. So I'm going to play this and then I'm going to call it a day and bid you a good evening. But see what you think.
Hello, everyone. It's August 25th, 2020. This is Kevin Ann at Eagle Strong Voice, speaking to you from within the Republic of Canada, formerly the Dominion of Canada, now under common law jurisdiction. Well, throughout the world, the powers that are imposing this corporate police state are attempting to keep everyone in a state of despair with each new police state regulation. But today on the west coast of Canada, a shot was heard around the world. And it came from the citizens of Parksville, Qualicum, who for the last several months have organized themselves, along with many other Canadians, in local common law assemblies, the Oceanside Common Law Assembly. Last night, at a special meeting, they brought in a local bylaw, which is now binding on all the citizens, which actually bans COVID restrictions and other measures. Let me read the news release they're sending out today. COVID restrictions and mandatory vaccinations are outlawed and nullified by Common Law Assembly. Citizens are encouraged to resist police state measures as officials are threatened with fines and imprisonment. And this is from Parksville, British Columbia, on central Vancouver Island. In a historic act of direct democracy last night, the Oceanside Common Law Assembly passed a public safety bylaw that prohibits COVID restrictions and mandatory distancing, masking, quarantines, and vaccinations anywhere in the communities of Parksville and Qualicum Beach on Canada's west coast. As of today, anyone who tries to impose COVID regulations on the people of these communities can face fines and imprisonments by the Common Law Assembly and its Common Law Court, which was convened this last month. Citing international law, the Assembly bylaw states that these COVID regulations, quote, are unlawful, unwarranted, and medically unsound measures that threaten and assault the fundamental liberties, health, and security of the people of our community. Therefore, it is ordered that no one is obligated to consent to or comply with any of these regulations, and anyone is free to actively resist and disobey such regulations and measures by any means necessary without fear of legal consequence, unquote. What that means is that civil disobedience has now been lawfully authorized by the Common Law Assembly, and that applies to anybody within their communities. The bylaw concludes by accusing anyone who tries to impose COVID regulations on the community as being part of a criminal conspiracy. And it threatens them with, quote, penalties and imprisonment upon conviction. All police authorities are expected and compelled by law to enforce this bylaw or be charged with obstructing justice and democratic process. Well, in the words of one of the authors of the bylaw, quote, we made history tonight by putting power back in the hands of the people. This is our answer to the police state and the COVID scam. We call on people everywhere to take the same step through their own common law assemblies and courts. Since 2015, more than 40 common law assemblies have formed across Canada, many of them under the jurisdiction of the Republic of Canada. The assemblies have become the frontline defense of Canadians who are resisting the corporate police state. Now, you can get more information by writing to Republic of Canada, that's Kanata, republicofcanada@gmail.com, or see their website, republicofcanada.ca. It's now up to all of us to take heart from this example and realize that we can take back power and turn the tables on these forces of repression and corporate fascism that are attempting to take our children from us, quarantine them in schools 2 weeks from now, literally imprison them, kidnap them, and keep them hostage until people agree to vaccinations. We're saying no in a big way, and we're saying anyone who tries that is now a criminal under the law, and they can be subject to arrest. It doesn't matter how high they are. It doesn't matter if they're premiers, prime ministers, popes, anybody in authority. They are subject to arrest under common law. It is now up to we, the people, to enforce that. Again, write to us to become part of this great historic movement, republicofcanada@gmail.com and murderbydecree.com. Stay tuned for more information. I thank you.
What a great post that was. That is uplifting. That gives you hope. Gives you hope that people power. Remember, guys, the universe is within you. Yeah? Don't let them convince you that you need external forces for the power that is eternally in you. It's not the case at all. And on that premise, nothing can touch you if we all get together with the right ideal in mind. So thank you to everyone. It's been a massive stream tonight. Thank you to everyone who's took part. If you're watching this retrospectively, thank you for getting to this point. Thank you to all the subbers, all the regulars that come in and do what you're doing. Thanks to all the support, and thanks to all the nice comments that you're laying out to each other. We're all showing each other here that no matter what your demographic, no matter who you are, we frigging love each other, don't we? You know what I mean? And it's that love that's going to get us through this, not getting wound up. Yes! Yes! Yes. Yes. And finally, yes. 007. Yes, mate. I love you all. Honestly, I really do. And I hope this has helped in any way. If it hasn't, it hasn't. You know what I mean? If nothing else, it's probably give you something to do for an hour and a half on it. But other than that, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thanks very much. Look forward to the stream. Fingers crossed Wednesday with Double LMC. Until then, love you all.
I love you. 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 Even the pissing haters. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.